It's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is absolutely delightful. I'm only just starting to get into Charlie Brown cartoons. It's not something that I ever watched as a child. Over the years, I'd seen bits and pieces, but nothing that I could say was particularly concrete. But I recently watched Charlie Brown Christmas, and I really enjoyed that. So I figured the next best place for me to go would be It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown because I love pumpkins, I love Halloween, I love autumn. So the color scheme in this straight away was absolutely delicious. There were a lot of beautiful kind of oranges and burnt colors, and it really definitely feels autumnal. And that aspect of it I really liked. But the narrative I thought was fabulous. So this was released in 1966, directed by Bill Menendez. I apologize if I've mispronounced that. And this focuses partly on Charlie Brown and friends who are going trick or treating, and they all have various costumes, primarily ghosts. And one of them is dressed as a witch as well. And I really it's awful. But what Charlie Brown gets when they go trick or treating, every time they go trick or treating, they announce what they received, which sounds repetitive, but it's actually really sweet and really enjoyable. And I won't say what Charlie Brown is given, but for some reason I found it really entertaining, even though it's kind of depressing. So that's one side of it, but it mostly focuses on the Great Pumpkin, and Linus is writing his annual letter to the Great Pumpkin, which is a being. Is that the right word? Yes, I'll go with that. A being who rises out of a pumpkin patch once a year at Halloween and delivers presents to the children. And I love that concept, kind of like a Halloween version of Santa Claus. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And I absolutely adored it. And I kind of, it surprises me actually that, commercialism has never capitalized on Halloween as making it a gift giving holiday. But let's face it, with costumes and trick or treating sweets, there are a lot of places where they can get our money with Halloween in general. But I'm surprised there isn't a gift giver of Halloween the way there is with Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. But I loved that aspect of it. I loved his spirit, not giving up, determined to wait it out. And Lucy's reaction, I thought, was fabulous. I won't say any more than that because I don't want to spoil it, but I really thoroughly enjoyed her character towards the end of it. Also, Snoopy's costume. Snoopy is a World War One flying ace, a fighter pilot, and I'll be honest, that was a very interesting choice. But he looks fabulous, and it gives us a really interesting animated sequence. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Unpopular opinion, perhaps, but I preferred it to A Charlie Brown Christmas. But that is because I have a very strong penchant for Halloween and pumpkins, so it really spoke to me directly. Really, absolutely adored it. Sure, I've only seen 2 Charlie Brown cartoons so far, but what I've seen, I've really enjoyed. I'm looking forward to exploring the rest. I think the Thanksgiving one might be the next one on my radar, but please feel free to recommend any that you think are particularly enjoyable, because so far I'm really thoroughly enjoying them, and It's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is delightfully animated, quirky, sweet, heartfelt, funny for the wrong reasons with regards to Charlie Brown. I really thoroughly enjoyed it.